Hey, what is going on, everybody? This is JR with you today. I'm here with my cat. Her name's Khaleesi. She's a sphinx, a little naked thing. She just likes to be on top of everything. Come on, Khaleesi. Shoo shoo, fly away. Super stoked to be here with you guys today. I haven't done any videos in English as of lately. I've been kind of slacking on the whole subject and just kind of focusing on Spanish because a lot of my followers so far are all Spanish. But today I'm going to be making English with Spanish subtitles, I hope. Okay, back to the main point. I have been playing since the update started yesterday with the newly buffed cannon cart as well as the graveyard. The graveyard is so OP again. Cannon cart is so destructive. You guys have to try this deck out here. As you guys are seeing on screen, I won 12 and I lost twice. I was 11-0, but then I faced 3 Musketeers, something that I hadn't faced with this deck yet because it is relatively new to me, so I was struggling there a little bit, but now I know how I might be able to counter it. But anyways, get to the point. This is going to be the deck that we're covering today. It's a deck that was made by Diego B. He's from Team Queso. He's been using it actually since before the update hit, so I was like, wow, he's already winning grand challenges with it, and the cannon cart and the graveyard hadn't been buffed. So the things that you guys want to use with this deck is, for the main part, your knight is going to be the one that defends everything. You'll have your ice wizard. The ice wizard is what you want to use in combination with the tornado, and the way that you want to use it is if like everything's clumped together, like he shoots hog with support troops in the back. You want to clump everything with tornado so that the ice wizard gets damage and kills everything. It's not as effective as the executioner. Its splash radius is a little bit less too, but it's so lethal. Then you have the cannon cart, which is basically your ranged troop for attacking and doing the most DPS out of all of them. Your Mega Minion is going to be in charge of getting those pesky troops. You always want to play Mega Minion first before you ever play your bats, because for the most part, like if they're playing Lava Loon, you always want to wait until they throw out the zap or the arrows, because most people will try to predict arrows, but that doesn't really work. So always save your bats for later, and then you have your graveyard. One of the tips that I want to go ahead and give you guys from the beginning is you don't want to just start off the game with a graveyard push. You always want to be patient. You always want to just try to counter, and once you counter, then do a counter push. But let's get enough of that talking. Let me go ahead and open this chest right here, see what we got. We're going to get 22,000 gold, some Musketeers, some few bomb towers that no one uses. Minion Horde, something that no one uses either because they're easily counterable. Then we have the Executioner alongside with a Hog Rider. Same thing with Goblin Hut. Nothing really good here. That's full. That's full. Nice. And here we go. This is one of the beautiful things about Grand Challenges, is the fact that usually when you get to 12 wins, for the most part, you always get a legendary. Cross our fingers. I need another E-Wiz because we're trying to get him to level 5. And it's a Mega Knight. No problem whatsoever. He's halfway to level 3. Can't really complain about that. Right, so we're back here. This new update brought along a few quest things. Honestly, my quest tasks aren't really done. I don't like the touchdown thing. It's a little bit shabby. But enough talking. Let's go ahead and show you the replays. Here are the 2 losses that I lost. And then if we scroll down, you'll see that I don't have any losses unless it was from yesterday's previous Grand Challenge. This is where I tried my first Grand Challenge yesterday with this deck. I only made it to 9. I didn't know how to handle Golems decks yet, but I was 0-2 on that challenge, so to get to 9 wins, it's still impressive. Here's all the decks that I faced. I faced quite a few bit of variety. We have some noobs here at the bottom. So as you guys can see, I didn't lose anything. We have against P.E.K.K.A. Okay, so let's show you this one, because this was one of the ones that you might think, how are you going to counter a Mega Knight, and how are you going to counter a P.E.K.K.A. as well with this deck? Well, let's go ahead and watch it. Some Asian, I assume he's Asian. I can't read. I don't want to offend anybody. And he's from the clan Little Boy. He's going to go ahead and it looks like he's going to drop his elixir pump. We're going to see. We're going to see. We fiddle around, fiddle around. As soon as someone drops an elixir pump, you always want to at least manage or do something so that you're not leaking elixir. You don't have to go full blown. I mean, if you have graveyard with poison, just drop a naked graveyard with poison. Make sure the poison covers the pump. That way you can at least get some damage off of it. You never want him to pump. But if you can't do anything, it's fine if you leave just that pump alive and then just wait until he starts attacking and go after his second pump. So just don't let him get to 2 pumps. In this case, I dropped the Mega Minion because I didn't want to go ahead and leak elixir. I didn't want to drop things too crazy. I had the graveyard in cycle, so I go ahead and place it centered. The reason I played it center, you kind of don't want to do this because there runs a risk that when you run it right in the center, there's going to be one skeleton that wanders off and activates the king tower. That's going to be a big mistake because then it activates your king tower, and you might think, it might not affect you, but with graveyard, it makes a big difference when a king tower is shooting you. So I go ahead and drop it in the center because I realized, I wanted some to go over and hit the pump. As you see, there's a few skeletons there that are hitting. He goes ahead and he drops the E-Wiz. My cannon card is still going ahead, and he almost took down the Mega Knight, but that's because he had assistance with the E-Wiz. But just goes to show you how tanky that cannon card is right now. He drops the P.E.K.K.A. Bad mood by him. He didn't really have a lot of elixir to defend. Here's where we're going to show you how to go ahead and play this. He goes ahead and drops everything. They're going to pretty much clean everything up. Bandit makes a dash. We pick everything back over here, and just like that, as you saw, we went ahead and countered all of this push. We are losing an elixir, but he did have the pump. So look at the difference in my elixir count as well as his. He's only beating me by like 2, and we managed to take down his pump, and now we're going to be about at least a little bit even. He goes ahead and pumps again. I'm just going to go ahead and throw a naked poison because at this point I don't want to go ahead and commit too much. I didn't have the knight and graveyard in cycle. Usually for the most part you want to start the graveyard with a knight. You could do it with the cannon cart, but using 5 and 5, that's 10. You're going to be empty on elixir, and if they counter it, you don't have room to put poison or anything. But if you do a knight with a graveyard, that's only 8, and you'll be sure enough to be dropping the poison soon enough. He goes ahead and he drops everything together. Bad move on his mistake. Especially when someone's running something with splash, you never want to clump everything together because then they're just going to go ahead and take him down. Ice Wizard right now is so good. Look how he slows down everything. So not only is he reducing their movement speed, he's also reducing their attack speed. So when they try to swing and they try to pounce, all that movement is slowed down. Here we go with the graveyard. This is why I said you always want to start a counter push, and that's when you drop graveyard with poison. Look at all the damage that's going to do. Pretty much the cart with the graveyard just absolutely demolished his towers. Now all we have to do is go ahead and defend. My towers are still clean. He doesn't have a heavy spell, so we're not worried about anything like that. I always try to drop the bats once the E-Wiz targets onto my knight or something else, so that way the bats have more room to go ahead and attack. Everything's clustered together. He doesn't know what to do. We tornado everything backwards. The bandit will get a charge in, and because the Ice Wizard is shooting the P.E.K.K.A., the bandit did get a charge. I just start a split push on the opposite end because we have poison, so we know we can go ahead and make it. Just wanted to show him how dominant we were. I gotta show him who's boss, Look at the graveyard. Absolute destruction. He just could not respond to it. The reason graveyard is so good right now is everyone right now has things counters that are heavy, so they have 3 elixir bandit, they have a E-Wiz, they have goblins, or they have little tiny troops that aren't really effective in that aspect. Just like that, they can't really defend against it. So one of the things that more people are going to start seeing it now again is the archers, because the archers are like the perfect counter for graveyard, especially if you bait out their poison so that you could put your archers outside of the range. Then we had this noob over here, Pancho. He was over here playing with giant skeletons, something that we don't really see a lot. And this is one that I want to go ahead and focus on, which is a golem deck. Yesterday on my first trial, I lost against a golem because I just didn't know how to counter it. We're going up against Willy from Mad Lions EC. I don't know what that stands for. We don't know what he has exactly yet. He goes ahead and he drops his pump. I go ahead and drop my Ice Wizard. Again, I don't have anything to really respond to. I don't want to just shoot a naked poison. You always want to grab some value, so I dropped the knight as well as my bats with poison. I was hoping he dropped something in the center to defend, but the bats did end up getting a few hits. His E-Wiz fell into the poison, so right there, that poison will not have gone to waste. We're pretty much neck and neck here with Elixir. I go ahead and drop the E-Wiz. Those bats are going to distract him. Unfortunately, he died, but the E-Wiz will just get one shot. He immediately drops his golem. I am slacking behind an elixir. I was worried at this point because I wasn't thinking he had golem. I was thinking he had P.E.K.K.A. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the card on this side. The reason I do that is just in case if he has lightning, which he did have in hand, but I didn't know. I was going to separate the Ice Wizard onto one lane while the cart went into the other. Now that the radius for the lightning is a little bit smaller, it would have been difficult for him to lightning both of them. So the cart's just going to go to work straight away. I'm forced to drop the Ice Wizard, because I have to force everything backwards because of the minions. The minions will go down. The E-Wiz is dropped on his side. That knight's going to go ahead and take care of everything. His golem pops. Now I have so much elixir on the field. We managed to defend that beautifully. Now we're pretty neck and neck, but I have about 10 elixir worth of cards on the field. He logged, which was good on his end, because then my card ended up blowing up. But still, I'm going to go ahead and drop the poison here. Get some poison value off of it. Just some chip. His minions will come back to bite me. Unfortunately, they're not in range for just one shot, so they will come and they will take a bit out. But the Night Witch we don't have to worry about. She's already dead. We're going to go ahead and clean up the bats nicely. We're ahead now in damage on the tower wise, but we're not ahead in elixir. I was worried because I knew that if I let him pump and he got the elixir advantage, I was going to be in big mess. I dropped the Ice Wizard thinking he might have started push soon. Then we're going to go ahead and drop the minion in the center. Followed with the Knight. As soon as he drops his golem, we go straight ahead and we're going to go do a graveyard push and we're going to poison just to make sure that he doesn't beat us in elixir. Look at all the damage. I tornado everything trying to get the E-Wiz dead as well as the Night Witch, but unfortunately his shock made it so that we didn't kill him. So now I have all this massive push coming to him. I put the Knight onto this side. Perfect timing. He used lightning and he did not get much value off of it. Now my minion with my Knight will go ahead and kill that golem. He's still ahead in elixir, but we're ahead as far as me having just a cannon card outside. I dropped the graveyard, crossing my fingers, hoping to make something out of this. His tower's locked on to my card. They're doing so much damage right now. Poison is just deadly. I go ahead and tornado everything, just trying to buy some time. Now we're within poison. I'm not worrying too much. I drop bats. I'm just going to drop everything right now, hoping to defend. His golem will blow up soon. He lightnings. This game is so close. His E-Wiz will go down, but with that poison, we're going to go ahead and take the win. He drops his log, but that's not enough. And that's how you guys are going to go ahead and take care of golem decks. Always make sure you keep your Ice Wizard with Tornado in hand. Don't waste it. Wait until they're at least all... wait until he drops all the troops together, and that way you're going to get massive value out of it. Let's see. The last deck... Oh, okay. This one. We're going to go against Mara Sara. I remember this match specifically because I thought I was going to lose. I thought this was going to be my first loss. This game was so close. This is a typical bridge spam. He's got the Ram, Goblins, Minions, Zap, Poison, and P.E.K.K.A. as well as E-Wiz, I believe. He's shooting out the good luck. No one's going to make a move. We're all fiddling here. I should have ignored this. You never really want to respond to goblins this way. I typically responded thinking he dropped 2 on the other side. He's going to go ahead and attack. He immediately drops his Ram. But with the bats and the cart, it's going to be enough to go ahead and take him out. Cart's still shooting away at him. Takes about two hits with the tower to go ahead and knock him down. I drop. Notice, I predicted that he was going to go after the cart because Ice Wizard doesn't really pose a threat to anyone. So I went ahead and dropped my troops onto the right-hand tower. And while his minions were over here attacking. So that works partially well. The bandit now, after the nerf as well, hasn't been very well. It seems that she won't dash unless she's in 4 tiles within the troops. So I guess that's the bug that they fixed, because she was dashing even though there were like a tile in front of her or a tile and 2 in front of her. So they fixed that. I went ahead and dropped it here with the Knight. Just trying to get some defense. I was hoping he dropped minions or he dropped goblins, but he went ahead and distracted very well by using his battle ram. I'm going to have to use the minion as well as my ice. Oh. We're going to get some damage off of it. He poisoned perfectly. He managed to kill the Ice Wizard. Now he's still beating me in elixir. I went ahead and dropped some bats, just hoping to do some chip damage here. He dropped his E-Wiz. I dropped the card in the back, followed with the Knight. The Knight's going to be super tanky. Don't have to worry about that damage getting through. So he just wasted 7 for my 8. But my 8's going to have to lose. I try to save him with the minion. Unfortunately, he puts his battle ram in front of it. But due to the fact that I can't commentate. Anyways, due to the fact that my cart blows up and goes into a cart mode, it turns into defense. So they ended up ramming into that. And I don't have to worry about that. At this point, I didn't know he had the P.E.K.K.A. just yet. He just hadn't showed it in his hand. He just has it there, but he hasn't really been using it. He's getting so much damage off with his poison. If you've been watching the CCGS or if you've been watching any type of tournament for Clash Royale, you notice that most pros will always try to get some value with poison. A lot of people that just play have the habit of not really using poison unless they're attacking and they're just trying to defend the troops. But you could use poison in so many ways. You don't have to attack. You can just go ahead and drop poison if you see like an E-Wiz, if you see a minion horde, anything that will get killed with poison, just go ahead and get that poison value. He drops his P.E.K.K.A. I immediately drop a graveyard, hoping that to distract. Look at that. Look at the poison. Perfectly timed. It kills his minions. It's killing his bandit. His bandit has very little health. His P.E.K.K.A. was shredded by the skeletons. He's just saying wow because all that damage there was clearly perfect. I go ahead and drop my knight. I stopped playing knight with other things together. I didn't drop like a ice wizard there anymore because I knew he was gonna poison, and if you drop a ice wizard, the ice wizard is just gonna die. Knight's one of the only troops that will not die to poison, or at least not be put in a dangerous position where you have to worry about that. Now it's just a battle of who can drop the best poisons, who can get the most value. He drops his E-Wiz to no avail. They're still going to get some damage there. His E-Wiz sadly didn't die, so now I'm going to be forced to deal with him as well as the other side. I'm not going to worry because that side is healthy, so I'm just going to go ahead and defend this lane because I knew he was going to try to go ahead and go out. He's going to go ahead and hit me with the poison. His poison was too predominantly because of that, I was able to tornado and my Ice Wizard didn't die. He's still on the field. Took very little damage, but he is pretty much close to death. One of the reasons I hadn't dropped anything immediately onto the other side is I was hoping that he would think, oh hey, he's going to do a push on this side so I could juke him really quick on the right side. He didn't. He didn't fall for the taunt. He put the bandit in the back. But the cart going ahead, he dropped his goblins. At this point, I put the poison a little too ahead. I didn't really worry about the damage coming here with the E-Wiz and the minions because like I said, I have a lot of life there. So now it's just a game of who can get the next tower down. He's going to go ahead and drop his battle ram with his bandit. We're going to go ahead and tornado. Everything's just dying there. We don't really have to worry. And at this point, I already knew that I had the game in the bag. You can actually do a naked graveyard and it will do so much damage. Right there, he has 273 left. At tournament standards, poison takes about 40 damage out for 8 seconds, so that translates into 240. No, I believe it's 30, my bad. 30 by 8, so that's 240. There would have been at least 33 hit points left on the tower. He's already getting ready for the graveyard. He drops his goblins. I'm going to go ahead and do the naked graveyard, followed with poison. But if we look here, I'm going to slow it down super slow because I want to show you, even though Supercell said they fixed the RGN, which is like the randomness of what happens with the graveyard, they wanted it to be spawned more of a organized spawning so that way the randomness isn't the one that affects on how much luck you get, whether it will be a winning graveyard or it will be a losing graveyard. So everything's supposed to be more organized. But if we super slow it down here, we're going to see that this little skeleton here, we're going to look over here to the left hand side of the tower. He's the one that goes ahead and finishes it off by hitting that smack. Little Larry by himself was enough to get us the win. He did very well. If he would have poisoned, we might have been in big trouble. But this deck right now, guys, it is so overpowered. Please, I recommend use it before it gets a buff. Not a nerf. It's not going to get a nerf anytime soon, but I mean use it before people start using it because right now the meta is going to shift slightly. We're still in the beginning of the days, so a lot of people don't know how to counter these type of decks, but once it becomes meta or it becomes a norm, more people are used to, how to counter it, what to do exactly. And right now, since people aren't expecting graveyard is so overpowered. So use it, guys. Right now, I'm going to be winning challenge after challenge after challenge with this deck until about a week later when people just kind of start getting the hang of what's going on with this meta. So if you guys are doing challenges, if you guys are doing grand challenges, use this deck because it is insane. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like it, please leave me a like and subscribe. I will be doing more videos in English and Spanish. I'm trying to put out at least 3 videos a week. I'll do it at least, if I do a Spanish video, I'll make sure I put subtitles in English. And if I do a English video, I will be doing subtitles in Spanish. So until next time, guys, peace.